Hi everybody, Joe here from SHUTTERSPEAK Photography. Very nice to see your smiling faces again here on YouTube. So, Nikon has announced their latest addition to the Nikon Z family, the Nikon Z FC, along with two new lenses. I'll tell you all the details, who this camera is aimed towards, and my take on this niche offering from Nikon. But before we jump in, I'd just like to take a minute to say thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this video, and if anything in this video is helpful to you, please take a moment of your time and help me out by subscribing. Ring the bell so you get notified of new updates to this channel. Hit that like button. It's something nice you can do for me, and best of all, it's free. So thank you in advance for doing that. I appreciate you, as always. So, as you know, I am a Nikon shooter. I do a lot of videos here on this channel on the Nikon Z series cameras. I have mixed feelings about this camera, good and bad, but hey, let's jump in and see what this camera has to offer. Okay, so Nikon has announced the new ZFC, which is now available for pre-order. So what is the ZFC? Well, basically, it's a Z52 with a retro interface. It does benefit from some new features from the Z6 II and the Z7 II, like the new wide area autofocus modes for face, eye, and animal tracking, and the new extended shutter times, upping the maximum exposure time to 900 seconds. It also adds a fully articulable viewfinder as opposed to a swivel only. That's welcome for this type of camera. USB power delivery is also added to the ZFC. You also gain a switch for the PSA and M modes, so program, shutter, aperture, and manual modes. But there's a few things that are also lost with this model. So firstly, my first problem with it is that the design is square and boxy, and it's going to require two hands to hold on to this camera. The old Nikon DF also suffered from this problem, and an optional grip was required, and it was an add-on. So as of now, there's no add-on grip for this camera. So to me, that's a takeaway of a con. Okay, but next up, lost is one custom function button. There's the loss of the ISO button, but that's been replaced with the dial, and the U1 through U3 settings buttons are removed. It's my understanding, though, that you can access those U1, U2, U3 through the eye menu button using the touchscreen on the back of the camera. So, what about the retro design? Well, here's my issue with retro designs, and the same holds true for the Nikon DF, and we'll see what happens here with the ZFC. Likely this camera is going to suffer from the same problems. Sometimes in an effort to be both digital and retro at the same time, the dials can be overwritten by the menu system, so effectively digital wins out. So for example, if you turn on Auto ISO, no matter what the dial states, it's likely going to be inaccurate since Auto ISO can change ISO as needed. The same will likely hold true with shutter speed. Let's say you're in shutter priority mode. There are command dials in the front and rear of the body, which typically control aperture and shutter speed. So if you turn the shutter speed command dial while in shutter priority mode, does it override that top shutter speed dial? Well, if so, this leads to confusion. And this was an issue that the DF suffered from in trying to be both things. So it's a major problem when you try and blend a digital camera and analog functions. In the end, digital always wins. So did Nikon correct these issues in the ZFC? Well, it's too early to tell. I don't have hands-on with this camera yet, but time will tell. Overall, I like the look of this camera if I were looking to buy a retro designed camera. But just to be clear, I'm not. But in terms of design, I think they did a great job. It looks retro. There are also 6 pastel colors that this camera can be ordered in, and those are in limited quantities though. So if something like that interests you, I suggest you jump on that right away, because supply chain, COVID, all of that stuff, we know it's hard to get some of these things. So in terms of specs, think Z50 here. Okay, we have a 20.9 megapixel DX sensor with 209 focus points, the ability to focus from -4.5 to +19 EVs, and video up to 4K at 30 frames per second. ISO ranges from 100 to 51,200 with a high 1 and a high 2 mode, allowing to be expanded up to 204,800. The ZFC uses a single SD card slot for storage, and it uses one ENEL 25 rechargeable lithium-ion battery. So, who is this camera for exactly? Well, this is the part that troubles me the most. Retro-style cameras are a niche market, one that's popular in Japan, but not globally. Maybe it targets the Fuji market, but why go after that market without a high-end DX camera and the lenses to back it up? I don't believe this is what the global market was looking for. Nikon would have done better with a high-end, say, Z90, similar to what the D500 was. Nikon needs to make a commitment to the DX series if it wants to succeed here. Personally, I'm not even sure we ever needed a DX format in the mirrorless, but it's here. And that being said, Nikon, you need to fully embrace it. The strategy by Nikon here is very confusing to me. So, if you're a Z50 owner, should you sell your Z50 and buy this? Well, unless you're looking for a retro design and that kind of floats your boat, I wouldn't. It doesn't make sense to move to a camera that will fight to be both analog and digital at the same time. You can't be both, and I think the digital aspect of this far outweighs the nostalgia of the retro design, so why not just go with a fully digital camera? This camera feels to me like it's like a product that was made looking for a customer, not a product that the customers were already looking for, like a high-end DX format camera and a solid group of DX lenses. So what about the price? Well, the ZFC is $1,099 with the 16 to 50 millimeter f3.5 to 6.3 SE lens. The SE stands for Special Edition. That kit lens has silver trim to match the styling of the camera, a kit with a Special Edition 28 millimeter f2.8 with a decorative silver ring is $1,199, and the basic ZFC is black, but Nikon will let you order it with a zoom kit lens in 6 pastel colors: yellow, pink, white, brown, green, and gray. The body only in the standard black price is $959. So there are 2 new lenses for DX, and that's a good thing. There's also the development announcement of the Nikon Z DX18 to 140 millimeter f3.5 to 6.3 VR lens. This would be a great kit lens to include with the Z50. Personally, if I was looking for a camera strictly for family pictures, birthday parties, this is a great do-it-all lens, and that would make a fantastic combo, a fantastic kit for the Z50. However, Nikon may sell it as an add-on only, since selling lenses is a definite part of their business strategy. They definitely want to always sell a camera body and sell 1 to 2 lenses. So who knows? We'll ever see something like that. But so how does this fit in with what the pro market needs? Well, clearly it doesn't. But a Z8 is absolutely needed to show that Nikon is committed to developing high-end, best-in-class mirrorless cameras. The already announced Z9 also needs to be best-in-class. We should see the Z9 in use this summer at the Olympics, and availability probably around November 2021. I would expect at least a pair of new long-range FX zooms by then, as well as zoom lenses, probably a 200 to 600 and a 400 millimeter. I'm not sure where the ZFC fits in, but to me, I hope it's a hit with the niche market, and I hope Nikon does well with it. So there we have it. That's my take on things. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on this new ZFC retro-inspired camera. Do you like it? Do you think Nikon missed the mark? Will you be buying one? Let me know. I always try and answer, if you're familiar with the channel, I try and answer almost all of the comments thrown at me on this channel. So go ahead and let me know what your thoughts are. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button. Please subscribe. I appreciate that more than you could realize, and I appreciate you watching this. And, well, until next time, YouTube, bye-bye.